Okay, Jim, here's a quick little overview of the dashboard for the mobile application and the mobile website, which are essentially the same thing. When you go in to the dashboard, there's a couple different menu systems. The one across the top it says dashboard, messages, analytics, and then your account, and then the QR codes that that it provides you. We'll be providing you with some other unique QR codes that work a little better than these. But if you want to send out a message to people that have the app on their phone, obviously nobody has the app on their phone because we haven't gotten that far with this yet. You can do that here. You can look at analytics when there are apps out there. Otherwise, we're tracking it all through the analytics within the current Google Analytics. And then you've got this menu here. Remember when I told you that the word publish is something that you use on the dashboard of the website, but not the dashboard of the mobile application? And so this publish is sort of a no-go zone. I mean, if you click it, you'll see a little menu, and there's some stuff in there that we still need to change out. That is where we go to publish it with Apple or republish it with Apple and republish it with Google. It takes some special coding and that sort of thing. The two that you'll probably work with the most is the functionality and then the content. The appearance is how we set up the themes, and we put in the colors and set up the menus the way they are and that sort of thing. So again, it'll look fairly simplistic if you go in there, but it runs pretty deep. There's lots of sub-menus within there. So the functionality is, if you follow this on your phone, the first 5 tabs basically are the first 5 tabs on your phone. So you've got your open dates, your rates, your email, email Jim, and then the photos that we'll be working with. Because we have a more page, then this what to expect is really on the second page, and then submit photos, Facebook, videos, lodging, and then book a trip down here. With all these being green, it means they're all activated. If they are black, they're unactivated, and they're put over to the right-hand list. Really, under functionality, unless you add another tab to the mobile website, there's really nothing you do here. So we pretty much set that up. You can actually grab things and move them around. You can drag and drop and change the order and that sort of thing, but you really can't edit what's in here. The way that you edit it is you come up here to Content and click on the Content box, and then it gives us a little bit different look. It still gives us the same order, but it goes across the top. So we've got open dates, rates, email Jim, photos, and I'll go through just a couple of these real quick. The open dates happens to be a website, and that's the website on the website dashboard, and so we put in a call here for that website. So again, other than putting in the website name, there's really nothing that we do here. Under the rates then is a one-tiered page, and if you scroll down here, you'll see that under this WYSIWYG editor, this is where we placed in the rates, and then we also put in the PayPal button down below. If you click on this add header and comment section, that brings back that thing that you wanted me to turn off. And so again, I haven't clicked on that. If you do click on it, then it's going to start asking for a bunch of graphics and a lot of other things that go along with that. And so again, probably not want to do anything in here for right now. The other thing I'm going to point out down here is Save Changes. This is Save Changes for the rates. So anytime that you make a change on the mobile application, make sure that before you leave the page that you're on, you do a Save Changes. If I come back up here to Email Jim is also what we call a one-tiered tab. And again, I've got my WYSIWYG editor, I've got my header turned off. There's the graphic that we've developed for Email Jim. It looks kind of funny because it's a clickable link, but it is there. And then I'm going to go over here to Photos, and this is where we'll sort of spend a little bit of time. So I click on Photos, and it'll bring up then that I've got one gallery. Now I can tie this in directly into Flickr, Picasa, and Instagram and have photos automatically upload into the system if I want, if I'm keeping them there also. In this case, I really just set up my own custom gallery. So I've got a Big Fish gallery that we call it. Now when you're on the app, you're not seeing the option for the Big Fish gallery. It just appears. This option only comes up if I set up a second gallery. So essentially I could set up like Big Fish and then I could put a 2016 gallery. Once I do, this then starts looking like a two-tiered tab where I'll have the Big Fish as my first category and then 2016 is my second category. And so then it becomes kind of a two-stage process to get into those photos versus if you just hit photos and up they come. Most of my clients will just keep it as a one-tiered tab. They want all of the photos on that one page like what you have right now. So I'm going to edit this gallery by clicking on Edit. And then it brings up a editor for the photo gallery. And it's loading all the photos as we speak here. And there we go. So then I've got the name of it, and again it doesn't appear, right, because they've only got one gallery in it. If there was multiple galleries, I could set up a little thumbnail that would show up. And then I've got yours set up with grid. We originally had it as cover flow, where you scroll through like what you were seeing, and he said, well, let's go and try the grid. So I've then clicked on grid. I've got description of the image. I've got that turned off right now. If you want to put in descriptions of the images, you can simply click on yes, and then it'll give you a way to put descriptions on those images. So then here are your different photos down here. They all just little thumbnails of them. And I can delete one by clicking on the X. I can grab one here and I can move it around, just kind of a drag and drop and put it anywhere I want. If I wanted to add more photos, I could click on Browse, and I'll hit Browse here, and then it'll bring up the directory just like what I would if I was trying to grab another photo off of my system. And so that's how I can bring in an additional photo or two. Now you can multi-select photos, meaning you can bring in more than one at a time. I've found if you try to bring in more than 5, it tends to kind of freeze up the system. So you really don't want to bring in more than, I'd say, a couple, 3 at a time, place them and that sort of thing. If I go scroll down to the bottom, at the bottom I've got this Save Changes. Sometimes you've got to scroll down to find that Saved Changes box, but you got to find it, because if you bring in a photo and you don't do the save changes, it won't save that photo, and you're going to have to go back through the same process all over again. And I'm going to hit on descriptions just for the heck of it. I don't use this very much. There we go. And then I can add in my descriptions down here for those fish. I'll turn it off at this point, and I'm going to click the box and get out of it. And so again, I've got my submit photos, I've got my Facebook, my videos. The videos is also in a one-tiered, I'll show you that, with a WYSIWYG editor with the photos embedded. There's a number of different codes that we have put into this. So anyway, there's things going behind the scenes also. So if you have another video to put into the system, let us do that for you. We'll put the coding in behind that. And then lodging, same way. And then book a trip. Book a trip just essentially calls that form that I've developed. And that link is right here. And so that brings up the same form that's on the site. If I wanted to see how the site is looking, I can come over here and click the arrow, and it brings then a display of how the site looks, and essentially should look on a mobile device. And so anyway, there is how it would look as an app here, and then as a mobile website that I've got set up right here. So I don't have to jump back and forth between the screen and my phone. However, sometimes it'll look different still on a phone than on the screen. You do want to check those things out. The photo system is pretty bulletproof. You add a photo, it reformats, and it does a great job of just placing those in there. So anyway, once I'm done and I've saved my changes, all I have to do is come up here to log out. That's right here in the black. For whatever reason, it's black right now. And I click here, and I've logged out. And now I can go back in and put in my username and password again. I really want to spend some time with you on this, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, kind of going through the little nuances of it. But that might get you going. You know, if you screw something up and you don't quite know how to fix it, don't worry. We can go back in pretty quickly now and make those changes and get it going for you again. So anyway, that's how you go about making changes within the mobile app.